I'm Alecia Hilmer, and my journey actually with heart disease began with cancer. And we had, as a family, just moved from Kansas City to Nashville. And about 6 months into it, I realized I thought I had double pneumonia. Two young kids just did a big move across country and went in, and I ended up with Hodgkin's lymphoma. The last year that they treated Hodgkin's the way that they treated it for me was pretty intensive. So when I think about that was radiation that really went up from thyroid down to almost pelvis area. And so when they did that caused organ damage, that caused some possibility of secondary diseases. So when I go back to Hodgkin's, which is actually a cancer that's pretty treatable, that's where this started. And in order to live, part of what you have to or at least part of what I had to deal with, is the fact that parts of you also have to die off. And so knowing the amount of chemo, knowing the amount of radiation meant that there were parts that were damaged, and certainly every organ has been damaged over the years. The first time that I knew that I had an issue with heart was actually in 2015. I had, the previous year, trying to be a really good person here, went and joined a gym, a cross-training gym called Kosama. And I went and I worked really hard because I thought, well, I'm getting older, I need to get in shape. And by the end of the year, I was breathing harder. I was struggling to get through what had been manageable and good for me. I had sepsis in the summer of 2015. And it was at that point that my heart started shifting to a point that was not manageable. So I went in to see a doc, and they ordered an angiogram. It was an interesting procedure, but I'm back in my room, and they had not told me what was going on with my heart yet, but I collapsed. Turns out that I was actually allergic to that amount of nitro. When it's radiation-induced cardiovascular disease, it's a little bit different, is my understanding. It's a little different in terms of it's not a one-time event for me, and so learning to live and thrive with my particular version as well. But certainly shortness of breath, pain, not having the energy, not getting to be able to do some of the things I want to do. In the course of cancer, I had been told several times to get my affairs in order, and this one kind of felt like that too. I mean, I had actually had docs say, get your affairs in order before you do this next treatment or surgery. But it felt that way, that something in me was going to need to give, and I didn't quite know what that was at that point. I have this amazing doctor, Isabella Grumbaugh, and she is just as skilled and really grateful to come back to the university. The university has been, I'm alive because of the university. When I was in the bone marrow unit, it was one of those dark nights of the soul that I did not want to continue to live. As I was just thinking about it, as I was reflecting, journaling, praying, I realized that actually every decision I make comes down to one of two things. I'm either choosing hope or I'm choosing despair. As a person of faith, I can remember when Moses basically says, on this day, choose life. Decisions, do they lead me to life? Do they lead me to despair? Do they lead me to hope? Do they lead me to bitterness? Do they lead me to God? Do they lead me away from God? That sounds simplistic, but honestly, in anything that matters in my life, those are the options. I'm broken. I'm a mess. And yet I'm also still choosing to thrive. And I love journeying with people here. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I support Go Red for Women for several reasons, but mainly I support it because I think together, this is what is transformative. We all, as human beings, we get to do life together. And whether you have walked this journey and you've walked through the tests, or you've walked through all the scans, or you've been in the surgery, or you survived the stroke or the heart attack, That's really powerful. Or maybe you're here because you love somebody and you don't even know how to do this other than to walk alongside. Or maybe you can actually write the check, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that I am standing on the shoulders of people that have done that for oncology and people that have done that for Go Red. And the research and the development matters, because we are living because you all are also choosing to walk alongside us, whether you know me, whether you don't know me. That's why you're here today.